Hey everybody, welcome to the real United States. And I could think of no more fitting place to do this particular episode than here in front of the Smithsonian Institute's Museum of American History. So as many of you know, this year, 2019, that Beverly and I for the channel have been doing a series of episodes called On This Day, 50 years ago essentially, about the events of 1969. What happened a half century ago, because we're both old enough to remember those events. And so today, as you probably noticed from the title, was the release date for the movie Alice's Restaurant. Now, Alice's Restaurant was kind of a satirical, anti-Vietnam War, anti-draft movie. I mean, there was a lot of other aspects to it, so don't let me sell it short, but that was the thrust of it. It was based on the folk song of the same name, Alice's Restaurant, written by Arlo Guthrie in, I believe it was 1965. And Arlo Guthrie, of course, the son of the late great singer-songwriter Woody Guthrie. For those of you who are big, country and folk music fans, you would recognize that. Anyway, as I understand the legend, at least, the song was, Arlo sat down one day at the kitchen table of his friend, Alice Brock, and wrote the Alice's Restaurant Massacre in one setting. And the song, if you can call it a song, because it's partially spoken word, but lasts 18 minutes and 34 seconds. And pretty much anybody, any guy anyway, born in the 1950s can recite it for you word for word. Oh, that may be an exaggeration, but a lot of us can. Anyway, I digress. So the movie came out on this day in 1969. Interestingly enough, Arlo had just appeared at Woodstock, a 3-day music festival in Bethel, New York, and then, like the day after it ends, he is, the star of his own motion picture. So, yeah, this was an important week for Arlo in 1969. And certainly Alice's Restaurant has always remained his claim to fame, although he's written and produced many other fine songs. But that is, like so many famous people, they got that one signature thing. And interestingly enough, and I don't want to get into it, too much, but it was the first, I was just about 10 years old, because I guess it would have been just before my birthday, a couple of days. And it was the first R-rated movie that I had ever seen. And the only reason it was R-rated is because there is one scene where the young lady is topless. Whoop-de-doo. And even at 10, for me, okay, big deal. It was about the storyline. I was so focused on the plot, it was like, yeah, okay, big deal. What's it have to do with the story? And even today, I think that scene was probably superfluous. But I don't know. I'm not a movie critic. But my parents, who didn't really quite grasp what an R-rated movie meant, they thought maybe it was swearing and violence, which we had at home all the time. Where my mother, who was very sexually repressed, I mean, like, she probably, if you look in the dictionary next to uptight, there's a picture of her. And she was like, her gaze was glued on me for hours, and I, like, what the hell? It's not that big a deal. So, but that I still remember it as being, my first experience with an R-rated movie, which, like I say, it left me kind of cold in terms of that reasoning. The movie itself I enjoyed. I remember, there were some pretty cool motorcycle racing scenes. Now, for those of you who are avid followers of this channel, you will remember that in 2016, during our great New England tour, that Beverly and I, in fact, visited Alice's Restaurant in Stockbridge, Massachusetts, and including the old church, which is now the Guthrie Center. Now, if you are patient and you hang on to the very end cards at the end of this, there will be a link to that episode where I talk about the movie and about the place in Stockbridge, Massachusetts, and all those things. But I wanted to make this separate episode to commemorate the 50th anniversary of Alice's Restaurant. And Arlo, as far as I know, is still going strong, still performing. At least he was not all that long ago. So I'm hoping he hasn't passed and I missed that too, like I have other events recently apparently. But like I said, as far as I know, he was still been performing a little here and there. So kudos to him. And if you haven't seen the movie, yeah, dig it up. I'm sure it's available on, you know, some platform that you use, and if not, you could order it on a DVD or whatever. It's a cute movie. It's a very cute movie, and I say it's exemplary of life at the time. The characters in it, many of them are real people. Alice, who's, you know, is a real person. The person in the movie isn't Alice, but is an actress. But her and her husband Ray, real people. Arlo, obviously, a real person. Stockbridge, Massachusetts, a real place. The church was a real place. So the whole thrust of the movie, a lot of it was based on Arlo's life experience. How he got arrested for littering, true story, and how because of that, he was not allowed to enter the United States service in the draft. Not that he wanted to enter the service, he was going to be drafted. And but because he had a criminal record, they wouldn't take him. So that's all part of this. A lot of what the movie's about is the storyline of his life. So it's amusing. It really is. There's some sad parts, but it's largely amusing. Anyway, leave me a comment down below, especially if you've seen the movie or you remember the 1969 summer. I'd love hearing from you. If you're new here, welcome. Thanks for joining us. I hope you'll decide to click subscribe and come along for the adventure, because we got lots more to show you. And as always, folks, well, thank you for watching.